Lincoln had a feeling that he would be assassinated, but accepted it.
I long ago made up my mind that if anyone wants to kill me, he will do it.
Lincoln once had a dream where he came upon a funeral in the East Room of the White House.
There I met with a sickening surprise. Before me was a corpse wrapped in funeral vestments. "Who's dead in the White House?" I demanded of one of the soldiers. "The president," was the answer. "He was killed by an assassin."
On the day of his assassination, Lincoln was having one of the best days he had in a very long time. He had been grieving over the loss of his child, Willie, who had died recently.
That afternoon he would tell his wife, "I never felt so happy in my life."
That night, Abraham Lincoln, his wife, Henrietta Rathbone, and Claire Harris arrived late to the theater, and they were escorted to the presidential box.
As Lincoln's party appeared in the box, the orchestra struck up "Hail to the Chief," and the audience rose for a standing ovation.
As the third act of the play was being performed, everyone was happy, but little did they know Lincoln was in danger. The door was left unlocked, and the bodyguard had left his post.
The door to the presidential box was closed but not locked. Lincoln's bodyguard that evening, John Parker, had slipped away from his post outside the door to go downstairs.
A man entered the box without anyone realizing, held a daring pistol, and aimed it at Lincoln's head. He pulled the trigger, and Lincoln fell forward. Major Rathbone attempted to stop the man, but he was sliced by his hunting knife on the arm to the bone. The man propelled himself off the box to the stage, which was a 12-foot jump. When he faced the crowd, everyone was surprised to see it was John Wilkes Booth. He
shouted the motto of the Commonwealth of Virginia, "Sic semper tyrannis," thus always the tyrants. Booth hobbled off stage and out the stage door, where a horse was saddled and waiting.
Doctors rushed to Lincoln's side to tend to his wound.
Lincoln had lost consciousness instantly. The bullet had entered his skull above his left ear, cut through his brain, and lodged behind his right eye.
After being worked on in the theater, Lincoln was transported to a boarding house next door. After being treated by many doctors all night, it was evident that Abraham Lincoln wouldn't make it. Surrounded by members of the cabinet, congressmen, government officials, his wife Mary Todd, and his son Robert, Abraham Lincoln died.
At 7:22 a.m. on April 15th, Lincoln died at the age of 56. A doctor folded the president's hands across his chest. Gently, he smoothed Lincoln's contracted face muscles, closed his eyelids, and drew a white sheet over his head. It was then that Secretary of War Edwin M. Stanton murmured, "Now he belongs to the ages."
4 days after Lincoln died, his funeral was held in the East Room of the White House. Afterwards, his casket was escorted down Pennsylvania Avenue to the Capitol. Abraham Lincoln was carried inside and placed under the Capitol dome. Over the next day, thousands of people waited in the rain for their chance to pass the coffin. On April 21st, a train set out, carrying Abraham Lincoln to his final resting place, Springfield, Illinois. This train took the exact same route that Lincoln traveled when he was first elected as president. It stopped at many major cities on its route, so that thousands of everyday mourners could see his coffin. On May 2nd, the train holding Lincoln reached Springfield. The city was sorrowful and respectful as the train pulled in.
All the bells of Springfield tolled. Guns fired a salute, and the crowd fell silent as the train came to a stop.
As a sign of respect, people on the train route
had built bonfires along the railroad tracks, and they stood outlined against the glowing red flames at every prairie village and country crossroads as the funeral train passed through. The morning he died, Lincoln had in his pockets a pair of small spectacles folded into a silver case, a small velvet eyeglass cleaner, a large linen handkerchief with A. Lincoln stitched in red, an ivory pocket knife trimmed with silver, and a brown leather wallet lined with purple silk. The wallet contained a Confederate $5 bill bearing the likeliness of Jefferson Davis and 8 newspaper clippings that Lincoln had cut out and saved. All the clippings praised him as a president.
The artifacts found in Lincoln's pockets show us that he was just a regular person that craves praise. With all the hate that Abraham Lincoln received, he always looked for the bright side in things and savored the positive moments in life.